The despair of Harry's wife. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to educate you about narcissism, utilising lots of different examples of the behaviour of narcissists, those that are famous, those that are infamous, detailing videos which are simply about the behaviours of our kind, my kind, the behaviour of our victims, or as some of you prefer to be known as, survivors, the various manipulations, our mindsets, our perspectives. It always behooves me to remind you that even though you may spend your time enjoying my series about Harry's wife, I would encourage you to listen to all of the other videos that I've done. There are far more, way more, that are done about other things other than Harry's wife. Series about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, Donald Trump, the Tinder swindler. You can learn more about Oscar Pistorius, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Jada Pinkett Smith. If there's somebody that you're interested in, you want to know whether I've done some work, just use the search function for HG Tudor, and then the relevant person you're searching for, and it'll bring up a video about them. I've examined Taylor Swift, for example, Chris Watts, Brian Laundrie, and his relationship with Gabby Petito. And beyond all of that, there are hundreds of videos about the actions, mindset, manipulations of the narcissist, what gets to us, how to deal with us, the myths about us. So much more material, and you find it utterly fascinating. There are 3,500 videos. So chances are, what you're wanting to learn about, I've covered. So do ensure that you search for it. Now, what's all this about the despair of Harry's wife? Well, we turn to that bastion of journalistic excellence known as Heat magazine, which tells us it will soon be 3 years since Harry's wife and Prince Harry bid farewell to royal duties in the United Kingdom for a fresh start across the pond in California. And the couple's lifestyle upheaval has not seen them lacking in the project department. Exhibit A, Harry's wife's podcrap, archetypes. Exhibit B, Harry's tell-all memoir, Spare. Exhibit C, the upcoming docuseries. We'll run out of letters soon. Somehow I don't think you will. Those are just 3 things. Though if you were perhaps labelling projects that have started that haven't finished, then you'd need to go into double letters, possibly even triple letters. Let's return to the article, however. But the fact that the Sussexes have all these opportunities coming out of their ears hasn't stopped California native Harry's wife from wanting more when it comes to her inner circle. Well, naturally, she's never satisfied. She never gets contentment. We narcissists never do. That's why you should watch my video, Envious of Your Contentment, whereby if you've been on the receiving end of our behaviours, it'll make you feel a lot better, because you realise that no matter how much the narcissist is ridden off into the sunset, grinning from ear to ear while you're left sprawled in the dust, we can never actually attain contentment, something you can actually do. Nevertheless, Harry's wife wanting more when it comes to her inner circle, which in part stems from a recent knock back. Heat has been told the former Suits actress is feeling snubbed that she was not included in former First Lady Michelle Obama's latest campaign, Get Her There. Of course she would. She'll be wounded by that, and substantially so. She'll be wounded because she regards Michelle Obama as part of her group, a peer, although she's a non-intimate secondary source in her fuel matrix. But also the fact that she's not involved with the opportunity that comes with it to assert control over millions of people, to give that facade a good boost and receive fuel from all of those people. Such a missed opportunity, whereby she believes that this is very much something she should be involved in, causes substantial wounding to her. The campaign aims to educate and empower teenage girls, again something that Harry's wife bangs on about as part of her facade management, around the globe to reach their full potential, and was launched in collaboration with Amal Clooney and Melinda Gates. See parts passim, where I went into detail about the fact that they weren't including her. The Sussexes and the Obamas have appeared, I think appeared is the appropriate word, to be friendly over the years, with Harry and the former president pictured together at various sporting events and functions. And that's because The narcissist that is Barack Obama is a very slick operator, and he's able to draw people in a convincing way without acting like a complete bell end. While Harry's wife and Michelle are said to have had a power meeting in London in 2018, although it doesn't appear to have followed up since then, because Michelle Obama, being no mug, will have worked out that Harry's wife is not somebody that she wants hanging around. They reportedly spoke at length about the importance of supporting and empowering women across all cultures and communities, open brackets, before Michelle Obama thought, this one's just a social climber, a hanger-on, I better distance myself from her, close brackets. At the time, it was said they formed a strong bond, probably by Harry's wife, because of her magical thinking, and vowed to keep in touch. But our sources say that while Harry's wife, 41, who is mum to Archie 3 and Lilibet 1, contends with the harsh reality, she might not be as in with the Obamas as she initially thought. No shit, Sherlock. She's taken it upon herself to cultivate a group of high-powered A-listers of her own. Is this perhaps self-identification of A-listers, namely, the A-list doesn't want me, therefore I will create my own A-list. The royal family has been too difficult to control. I'll create my own court over in California, although, of course, it's not really been going that well, has it? There is no court in California. And as for the A-listers, not only have they distanced themselves from her, she doesn't appear to have substituted them in any particular way. The article continues, it really stings for Harry's wife that she's not had much FaceTime with Michelle, we're told. She was counting on that friendship blossoming when she and Harry came back to America. Again, that demonstrates the delusion of Harry's wife and the fact that she doesn't really understand many of these power dynamics that occur, which is why she'd be awful were she to enter into politics. She just thinks that people really like her, and that because she says similar things to the things that they say, that means that there's a strong bond, and therefore they're going to be friends for life. That demonstrates the transparent nature of what she is, her relatively low cognitive function, and the fact that her narcissism powers her to think that so long as she smiles and laughs and copies what people do, they'll instantly fall in love with her, want to be friends, want to be BFFs forever. And she doesn't understand that it isn't as simple as that with certain individuals who are far more superior to her and are more capable when it comes to operating these networks. The article continues, instead, it's been made very clear that Michelle and Barack aren't really keen on the drama and gossip that comes with the Sussexes, which is demonstrative, of course, of the way that Barack Obama, being a far superior type of narcissist, recognises that this kind of behaviour is a distraction, unwelcome, and he doesn't need people like that. He's got plenty of other people that achieve his aims without having to put up with riffraff like the Sussexes. It's hurtful, the article continues, but Harry's wife's still optimistic that one day they'll get back into the fold. That shows her deluded nature. But also it's demonstrative, of course, of that not quitting attitude of narcissists, which often bears fruit, that they just keep going and keep going, perpetuated what appears like a tremendous self-belief. But it's actually the delusion that they belong, hence why so many people operate with this fake it till you make it approach. That although they are wounded, their narcissism keeps driving them to get what they want, i.e. the prime aims, although they invariably don't know it, where they're unaware narcissists. So there is this huge amount of what you might call bounce back ability, where it doesn't work out here, I'll try again there, and I'll try again there. And that's why you see certain narcissists have that rag to riches story, because they didn't give up. Of course, it's not always narcissists that have that story. There are plenty of non-narcissists that keep trying and trying and trying. But it's often narcissists that do, because they are driven by the belief that they are entitled to this world, that they fit into it, that it's their world, and that come what may, they should be admitted to it. Harry's wife is optimistic that one day they'll get back into the fold and the Obamas will open doors for them in the political world as well as high circles. Delusion. The source continues, Harry's wife says she's being patient and that this is a long-term thing. That's just making excuses for the fact that she's not got in so far. It's a form of deflection. It makes no sense to be hanging out with Z-listers when they can bide their time and be part of the real power pack. Not that that will actually ever happen. On Harry's wife's 40th birthday last year, she launched her 40 by 40 campaign, which, as you know, was copying that which had been done by Barack Obama and which doesn't appear to have gone anywhere. With the concept being that 40 people, including the likes of Adele and Stella McCartney, would offer 40 minutes of their time to advise women on how to get back into the workplace. In May, it was reported that the campaign had been quietly dropped, although this has never been officially confirmed. Well, it wouldn't be, because to do so would be to embrace failure, and failure is a threat to control. So therefore, it sort of shuffles off the list and is not thought of again, and it's not something that Harry's wife will want to embrace again, but it shows how her narcissism creates these schemes, which of course is a copy of somebody else's, but she lacks the ability and the dedication to see it through. And of course, because nobody particularly finds her that appealing, she would struggle to have found the requisite number of people to actually engage in it. Recently, Harry's wife has welcomed a host of famous faces on her Archetypes podcast, including BFF Serena Williams, comedian Mindy Kaling, Mariah Carey, and actress Constance Wu. And in order to keep those contacts rolling in, we're told she's aiming to relaunch her lifestyle blog, The Tig, which ran from 2014 until 2017, and featured articles about food, fashion, and inspirational women, among other topics. Do listen to The Stig for a more enlightened view of all of that. The project was shelved shortly before she and Prince Harry, 38, announced their engagement. Our insider says the Tig will enable Harry's wife to strike up partnerships with popular chefs, lifestyle experts and actors who can guest star on the site while promoting their own brands and getting a slice of the ad revenue in the process. Oh dear. Here is a woman that if she'd kept her gob shut and not kicked up a stink, could have met famous people all around the world, backed up by the machinery, status and name of the British royal family, which would have much more cachet for her, but instead she has to go back to an old project. She has to breathe life into something that she did before she became famous. And she believes that people are going to want to embrace it. Many people will see that it's something they don't want to be involved with. They will see that it's a backward step for her. And why do you want to associate yourself with somebody who's in a downward spiral? It'll be interesting to see who she convinces to be involved in that. It might be perhaps the desire for money ultimately convinces them. Harry's wife's willing to sink a ton of cash into this and sees huge potential. Probably somebody else's cash that she puts the baking bowl out for. She's confident that the likes of Jennifer Aniston, Gwyneth Paltrow, Mariah Carey, Katy Perry, and Orlando Bloom, Ellen and Portia, Beyonce, and a whole lot of others will lend their names in support. Yeah, right. I wouldn't bet on that whatsoever. Jennifer Aniston will stay away. Gwyneth Paltrow's not going to get involved in something which is basically a Wish version of her own site. Mariah Carey's got better things to do. Katy Perry doesn't like her to begin with. Remember the comments about the wedding dress. Orlando Bloom will think, why are you involving me? Ellen will just laugh at her and try and make her the Duchess of Squat again. Portia won't be bothered about it. Beyonce, she will not involve herself with such things. And a whole lot of others. Well, the others may well be people we've never heard of. The source adds, there'll be a huge launch, of course, with a star-studded guest list plus a possible follow-up live tour where she'll have celeb guests helping her push the brand. Where does Harry fit into all of this? Nothing about him. Is he not helping? Perhaps he could be like the magician's assistant. And here we see Harry now, modelling the salad spinner. Harry, could you break a couple of eggs for me? Oh, yeah. And slams it against his forehead. Not like that. Harry! You dimwit! But of course, Harry's sidelined. Harry the Spare. No involvement in this project. And it seems to me that this is actually demonstrative of the fact that she's failed. She's failed to get the A-list involved. She's failed to drum up sufficient interest. She's failed to elbow her way in there. So now she's thinking, well, what I'll do is I'll go back and with my newfound fame and status and money, I'll just relaunch the Tig as something bigger, brighter and bolder, and everybody will go along with that. I very much doubt that they will. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.